I'm thankful that I can bless my kids with something that I didn't have.
She'll get about $188 million. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Times are different than they were when Geico started saving people money over 75 years ago. Everybody takes photos of their food nowadays. You can bet none of us kids would snap pictures of Mom's tuna casserole surprise. To this day, we don't know what the surprise was, nor do we want to. We didn't always have tasty food, but we always had great car insurance with Geico.
Geico, saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
Let's face it, nowadays it can be hard to find American-made products, and that's something that Cabinet Sales of North Florida is well aware of. That's why they're an authorized dealer of Wellborn Cabinetry, family-owned and American-made since 1961. Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your answer for complete turnkey kitchen remodels and whole-house cabinetry. Their cabinets are finished with solvent-based enamels for a long-lasting finish that's second to none. Available in an incredible selection of door styles and colors to choose from to turn your dream kitchen into a reality. In-house design and drawing services are available. Come by and see our displays for yourself at the Floors of the Villages, 3935 County Road 216 in Oxford, or Exquisite Design Kitchen and Bath in Bellevue, right across the street from the Bellevue Library. So whether you're looking for bookcases, kitchen, bath, or outdoor kitchen, Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your one-stop source of quality cabinets. For a free estimate, call 352-427-2647. That's 352-427-2647. Cabinet Sales of North Florida.
Are you tired of looking through glasses with scratched lenses? Or are your frames a little dated? Well, Ocala Eye is offering a sweetheart special that can solve that problem today. Now, through the end of February, Ocala Eye is celebrating Valentine's Day every day by knocking $100 off on any complete pair of frames and lenses purchased from any of Ocala Eye's 5 locations, including the Villages. Pick from hundreds of designer frames like Kate Spade, Coach, Vera Wang, Maui Jim, and more. Then apply the Ocala Eye Sweetheart Special and knock $100 off whatever the cost. And if you live in the Villages, don't miss our optical trunk show at our office on Laurel Manor Drive on Saturday, February 28th. For more information, go to ocalaeye.com. Trusted doctors and proven technology. Just another way Ocala Eye is looking out for you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750. Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala! And April showers with sunshine in between, with roses blowing and rivers flowing mid rushes growing.
Wow, that guy should be on Broadway.
Where no
He's a good singer, huh? You should recommend him
I'm just
somewhere.
teasing. He is on Broadway, and he's coming to Ocala. He is Arlo Hill. He is one of Broadway's greatest voices. We were listening to him this morning, and we're just blown away by how well he sings. And Mary was just telling me he covers lots and lots of different roles as a
Phantom of the Opera.
What do you call him? A stand-in? What do you call that person?
Well, Arlo can answer that better, I think.
All right. Let's see. He is conversational in Mandarin, holy mackerel, and French. He's a percussionist, a guitarist, and the recipient of the Lottie Lenya Award. I might be mispronouncing that. The Doris Cohen Levy Award and the Maddie Award. And he is coming to Ocala, to the Ocala Civic Theater on February 23rd for 2 shows, right? One at 3, one at 7?
Yes,
right?
2 shows.
All right. Arlo Hill. Good morning, Arlo.
Good morning, Larry.
Thank you for being on the air with us today. Where are you right now?
Right now I am in Fort Myers.
Oh, you're in Fort Myers. Okay. And you spend a lot of time on the stage in New York, huh?
I do as much time as I can.
So how does that work when you're standing? Are you actually at the theater and you're just waiting for somebody to get sick, or do they call you up?
So it kind of works both ways. I'm a swing in Phantom of the Opera, and as a swing, most swings are there all the time. So you're waiting backstage for something to happen, but a lot of the time, someone will be sick, someone will be out, someone will be injured, so you might go on and know, for the week ahead of time, or you might show up and suddenly be told, okay, you're going on for this track that you haven't done in 6 months. So it's very exciting. I'm only there part-time, so sometimes they'll call me, months ahead and say, someone's going to be out for vacation for a week, and you go in and do this.
Oh, wow.
But yes, it is an exciting life.
So,
you never know what's going to happen.
So you're coming to Ocala and you're headlining the show here. I'm guessing you're doing...
one-man show.
What is it?
It's a one-man show.
A one-man show. Well, that means you are headlining it.
Yes.
Yeah.
kind of by definition, I have to.
So who is... how do you say Frank Loesser? How do you say that name?
Frank Lesser.
Lesser.
Like greater and lesser. So, there's lots of puns to be made there.
Okay. All right. And who is he?
The name of the Frank Lesser. So the name of the show is I've Been in Love Before, the songs and stories of Frank Lesser. And Frank Lesser is one of those people who you probably already know a lot of his music, but his name isn't necessarily a household name. The Broadway shows he's best known for that he wrote are Guys and Dolls,
oh, wow.
How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, The Most Happy Fella, a bunch more, but it's just wonderful, wonderful music that, I think most people know, even if they don't know his name. And he also wrote a lot of songs for Hollywood that are very popular, but you also might not associate with his name. What Do You Do New Year's Eve? Baby It's Cold Outside. And one of my favorites, I think, because a lot of people learn to play this on the piano as a kid and don't even realize it's a song. Is close. It's the other one. What the other song that everyone plays in the piano?
Oh my! No. If you tell us, as soon as you say it, I'll know it, right? Oh yeah.
Heart and Soul.
Right.
That's what that's called. Heart and Soul.
Heart and Soul.
Heart and Soul, yeah, and he wrote the lyrics. Hoagie Carmichael wrote the music. But, no one even thinks of that as a song. They just think of it as something like, oh, yeah, little kids play it on the piano.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing this?
This show or this business?
You look so young, and your voice is, I don't know. The voice didn't match the face when I saw you. So do you get told that a lot?
I do. It's funny. If you're a baritone, I'm a baritone, although often I have to sing tenor. I was just talking about this I'm doing this show here in Fort Myers, this Gershwin show, and I was talking about this with my castmate, which is if you're a baritone and you're younger, in your 20s, as I am, there aren't many roles for you. A lot of the baritone roles are older leading men.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just so many, written for Broadway, there's so many tenor roles.
Usually big beards and they're fat. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, well, you're a good-looking young and thin guy. Yeah. So are you currently touring around? Is Ocala something special? What are you doing?
Ocala is something special. I'm really looking forward to. Right now, I'm doing a show at the Florida Repertory Theater in Fort Myers, which is wonderful. We're here doing a show called Fascinating Gershwin, and that runs through the late March. And it's my first time doing a show here. It's a great theater, and it's very nice to be out of New York this time of year. I check the weather every day.
Me too. I check it every day.
Are there certain roles that you prepare yourself to know all of the dialogue and the songs in those roles when you go to be a substitute, so you're not just meandering around and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it would be fun to do that, just to kind of wander on and see what happens. But you do have to work very hard and learn it all. There's in Phantom there are actually 10. We call them tracks, roles. But because in the ensemble you might be this one character, then run around and be a different character, and then so we just call the whole thing a track. And there are 10 different tracks, so like 10 different people's parts you have to learn.
Wow.
Including all the dialogue, all of the, the songs, different vocal lines in the song. So one day I might sing first tenor, the second day, the next day I might actually be singing bass.
Wow.
And you have to be ready to go on at a moment's notice for any of those.
Do you know I've always wondered, and I don't know who would answer this because all three of you have something to do with acting, but I've often wondered, it seems like I understand how you practice singing. How do you practice acting? I mean, how do you know that you are convincing to an audience?
Well, you take class. I think it's really, really important, to practice as with anything else. But with acting, being in scene study classes, being in technique classes, because you're right, you have to have an outside eye always. It's not something like you play an instrument and you can say, oh, that was a little sharp, that was a little flat, that wasn't the right note. But you're right, it's a little different practicing, working on acting technique than anything else, and you need a good teacher.
So are you blessed? You're obviously a blessed singer, and I'm assuming a blessed actor.
Yes.
But is it natural for you, or is it a mixture of natural born talent and then classes?
I think for anyone, it's a mixture. It's something I've always done since I was a kid. Music really came first. I sang in choruses when I was little, and then around middle school, I started performing in musicals and got really into it in high school. And I didn't actually go to school for theater, for theater or for music, but I always knew that's what I wanted to do. And along the way, you realize, just liking this and being good at it is not enough. So when I moved to New York, you realize I have to take a lot of classes. You have to take regular voice lessons. You have to study really hard. It's because, there's so many people who are all very talented and all working really hard. So you have to put in, 110%.
Yeah.
Have you ever been asked to sit in for the percussionist?
That's a different union.
Yeah, it's a different union.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, not since. It's funny because I played percussion for 10 years.
Once you get to Broadway, it's very compartmentalized. Each craft has its own union. So while they might want him to sub in for different performers, the musicians union probably wouldn't call on him.
Wow.
Exactly. Although, it's interesting. There's more and more shows where the actors are also musicians.
Oh, yes. There's the real trend toward that in New York now, where they write it into the script.
Exactly. Yeah, I think John Doyle, particularly, he directed the Sweeney Todd revival some years back, and then the Company revival, where they were all playing instruments as well. Now with Once on Broadway and Cabaret is on Broadway. Those are both shows where the actors are also musicians. So there is a demand for it. It's definitely, if you're an actor who plays an instrument, there's a role for you.
So the show here, when you're in Ocala, are you singing and playing?
No, I am not. So it's a solo show with my pianist as well.
Oh, okay.
So I have a great pianist I work with in New York, and he works a lot. I'm fortunate that he's made time for me and is excited about coming down to do this show.
I love those kind of shows.
What's his name?
His name is Rick Hip Flores.
Okay.
And he worked a lot on Broadway. When you talk about Broadway musicians, he's played in pits of many Broadway shows, has associate conducted Rocky on Broadway most recently.
Rocky's on Broadway now?
Yes.
Wow. It closed.
Okay.
Maybe 4 or 5 months.
He didn't
back.
go 16 rounds, no.
Oh, no. Arlo and Mary, we have to take a little break for the weather, but we will be right back. I'm looking forward to hearing more from Arlo Hill. And by the way, we can all go see Arlo in just a couple of weeks from now, or maybe 1 week, right?
February 23rd.
February 23rd, 10 days from now. So we'll be right back with the After the Weather, and this is WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be sunny today, but breezy and cool with a high between 57 in the northernmost part of the zone and 65 in the southernmost part. Clear and cold tonight. Those will drop to 30 in the interior spots to about 40 along the coast. Sunny but cool tomorrow, high 60 to 64. And for Sunday, plenty of sunshine, highs ranging from 60 in the northernmost part of the zone to 67 in the southernmost part. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, 14 minutes before 11 o'clock. Arlo Hill is on the phone down in Fort Myers. So we said Fort Myers?
Yes, Fort Myers.
Visiting us from his normal gig up in New York, where it's too snowy right now. So he's coming down to the sunshine, which is kind of good, especially for us because we get to see this show called I've Been in Love Before, the songs and stories of Frank Lesser. It's a cabaret show performed by Arlo Hill. It'll be on Monday, February 23rd at 3 o'clock and then again at 7:30 in the evening. And Mary, how much are the tickets?
They're $25 a piece. I mean, in New York, can you imagine what they'd cost?
What are they? Arlo, how much does a ticket cost? You do the same thing in New York, right? The same show?
Yeah, I've done it twice. I did it at the Triad Theater, and then I did it at 54 Below.
So we get a real deal living in Ocala, don't we?
I think so. I think the tickets are definitely more than that.
See, I love that when an entertainment, you don't even know what the ticket price is.
No.
I love that. I mean, that means you're removed from all of that. Well, it's a different union, right?
Right.
Well, actually, that's not true. I did produce my own show in New York, so I have some idea of that. But the main thing is at 54 Below, they also have, a food and drink minimum, and they have their drinks are very, very expensive. That's where
yes.
these places make money.
You should do that, Merit. You should do that at our theater.
Yeah. We do have
always a good idea.
We do have a subscriber discount too. So if the person happens to be a season ticket holder to our regular series, then it's only $20 for them.
That's great.
I like your variety of roles, especially since you played Schroeder and you're a good man, Charlie Brown. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was how I got my equity card, actually, years ago.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So how did it come to that you learned Mandarin?
That I learned Mandarin?
Yeah. I mean, what happened in your life?
What happened? I guess I went to China, and
Okay.
It's interesting. I went to school. I studied at Harvard. I studied literature, and I was in this singing group, this a cappella group that toured the world, and we were in China. And I just thought, I love this place. We're in Beijing, and I'd love to, pick up the language. So when I went back the next year at Harvard, I started studying, and I actually studied a summer in Beijing as well.
Oh, that is cool. So with speaking and reading, both?
Yes, although I have to admit my skills have faltered as I haven't used them as much in the past.
So I have an idea for
years.
a second job for you. If this singing thing doesn't work out, you know what you can do? You can correct Chinese menus because they're always wrong.
I know they are.
Their languages.
Where would be the fun in that?
Or you could write fortunes and fortune cookies.
They could. Yes.
Well, actually, that is my money job.
Oh,
we see from your bio. We see from your bio that you also do extremely good handstands. Do you ever do that and sing at the same time?
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I have.
That would be a challenge.
Rob just gave him an idea.
That's right.
You might see it for the first time.
Maybe I'll add that to the show for
that'd
for an
be pretty
encore.
awesome.
You'll have to go and audition for Pippin.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about the audiences? I'm curious how, from your perspective, when you're doing a show, I mean, you always hear this from performers that you're only as good as the audience. Is that absolutely true?
To some degree, yes. The audience means a lot. It depends on the type of show you're doing. For instance, in a sort of a cabaret like this, the show I'm going to be doing in Ocala is you're talking to the audience. You feed off the audience, and whatever energy they give you, that's what you can bounce back. It's interesting that the show we're doing at the Florida Rep here in Fort Myers right now is very much like that. Also, we talk to the audience, we respond to the audience. So when you have an audience that's not as excited to be there, it makes for not as an interesting show. It's kind of a vicious cycle. So. But you can't blame it all on the audience. It's not a good show.
Are you dressed up in a period costume when you perform, or are you contemporary?
In the Frank Lesser show,
yes.
I'm just dressed up nicely for a sort of cabaret performance. So it's not. I'm not playing the role of Frank Lesser or stepping into that time period, but I am telling the story of his life through his songs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? And so his songs that he wrote for the different shows, did you kind of use them to kind of make that biographical element, or did he do that intentionally?
Yeah, no. So this is a show that I wrote. I did a lot of research. I read a couple biographies of him, one written by his daughter, Susan Lesser, another written by Thomas Reese, and I interviewed Frank Lesser's widow, Jo Sullivan Lesser, who was very, very kind to give me her time and gave me some great stories. And then I wove together this story of his life using his songs, his early Tin Pan Alley songs, and his Hollywood songs, and then later his Broadway songs. Because along the way, putting the show together, I just discovered there were so many great stories. He was such a vivacious, interesting character.
Really? So who was the woman? Who was the woman he was thinking about in "It's Cold Outside"? Baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
That's a great story. So when his first wife, Lynn Garland, they lived out in Hollywood when he was writing for the movies. And they used to be invited around. There were all these big Hollywood parties, and they would invite him over because he would sit at the piano and play and entertain everybody. So they were very popular at all the parties. So he wrote this song, Baby It's Cold Outside, for himself and his wife, Lynn. And they would sit at these parties. They premiered it, and everybody loved it so much. And, of course, they got all these invitations to parties around that time. They were a hit. And then he took the song and he sold it. I'm trying to remember if it was to Universal. I can't remember which name of the movie it was first used in. And he won an Academy Award for it. But his wife, Lynn, was so angry because she said it was their song.
Oh, no.
And sold it for someone else to do.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So when did he die? When did Frank Lesser die?
1969, he died. He was 59 years old.
So, wow, young. And in our time, see, it's young now. Now that we're 60, 59 sounds young.
Yeah, he was very young, and he's someone who, he was sort of at How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which he won the Pulitzer Prize for. He wrote in 1960, and he had written a lot since then. And I think if he had, he was a heavy smoker, and he got lung cancer, as was the case for a lot of his contemporaries. I think he would have gone on and continued writing, a lot more. So it's very unfortunate he died so young.
Your website is arlohill.com, and it's spelled just like it sounds. Either of your parents fans of Arlo Guthrie? How'd you get the name Arlo?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were. My mom was sort of a hippie, but they honestly, they just liked the name. They just wanted an A name, and they went through the book and said, Arlo, that sounds
Yeah, it does. But on your website, I wanted to point out to the listeners, you have some videos on there. The little piece that I played in the opening, I don't know if you could hear it, by the way. I don't know if our mixing board is working correctly, but we used your song, one of your songs, as the intro to the interview today, Land Where the Good Songs. Is that what it is? Oh,
great. Yeah, the Jerome Kern song, The Land Where the Good Songs Go.
Go, okay.
From a 1917 musical that no one really knows these days called Oh Boy by Jerome Kern.
Have you done anything in the religious realm?
I was going to say not much, but recently there was at Carnegie Hall there was a concert with the New York Pops, and I sang a baritone solo, baritone not tenor, luckily, of this arrangement of Hanukkah songs. It was a concert with Kelly O'Hara and Matt Morrison, two amazing talents, and I sang with the orchestra this arrangement of a bunch of Hanukkah songs.
Well, we need to download them. In December we have so many Christmas songs, and we got that one Adam Sandler song.
Yeah.
And we need more Hanukkah. We need more Hanukkah songs. So.
Well, these are great. I so recommend them. They're arranged by Judith Klerman and Larry Hockman and Brian Stokes Mitchell, who he premiered the song, and then another great singer, Ron Raines, recorded it with Essential Voices USA. I would check out that recording. It's really, really good, and it was exciting. You know, I'm Jewish, and I grew up singing Hanukkah songs, and never really thought, oh, these are great songs. Someone should, sing them on stage.
Yeah,
but his
right,
arrangement
right,
changed my mind. It's great music.
So are you a composer as well?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not a composer. I'm kind of amazed by those that can sit down and reel off melodies and harmonies.
So what? Let's see. How does a song affect you? Like, what is it about a song that makes you say that's a great song, or that's the song I should sing? Is there something about the composition of the song, or maybe the content of the lyric?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I wish I knew. I wish I could really put it into words.
Yeah.
Because the genesis for this show was exactly that. I would be sitting in class. As I said, I take a lot of classes. I would be singing in a class or in an audition, and someone would sing a song, and for whatever reason, it would just strike me. I would just think, God, it's so moving. And I would ask, who wrote that song? And they would respond, Frank Lesser. So I started.
Oh, really? So his name came up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exact. I started keeping this list of songs. Spring Will Be a Little Late This Year. I Wish I Didn't Love You So. Slow Boat to China.
Aww.
I Don't Want to Walk Without You, Baby, which he wrote with Julie Stein. And I just thought, wait, who is this guy? Well, why don't I know all of his music?
Oh, wow.
I think this show was kind of an effort to get at the bottom of that. Like,
Isn't that wonderful? Somebody who we might not have known the name of even though we know his works, but because somehow you were impressed by him naturally, in a natural way, without forcing yourself to. I mean, we now know the name. Just in this little half-hour interview, we come to know the name Frank Lesser, which Robin might have known. I'm sure Mary knew the name, but but now I know it.
Well, I knew his Broadway work, but when I was looking at the list of popular songs that he wrote, like Slow Boat to China, it's like, oh, I didn't have any idea that he wrote that.
Right,
there was a lot of stuff that he did for Hollywood and that became very popular at the time that I didn't connect the two.
Right.
Larry, you had asked us how this concert had come about, and I wanted to thank Michael Roberts because Michael is a mutual friend of ours. Arlo and I have never met.
Okay.
But Michael has a connection here in Ocala, and he has a couple of different entertainment websites. He's got Showbiz Chicago and Showbiz LA, and now he's opened one for North Central Florida called Showbiz No Flow. But he had been to our theater, and he knew Arlo and kind of put us together to have this great opportunity to have, somebody of Arlo's caliber.
Wow,
This particular cabaret show that's been done in New York several times, actually come and do it at our theater. And then, it's a small world. The theater where Arlo is working right now is a theater where we had some connections with Ocala Civic Theater. They're, the gentleman that started it, Bob Cassiopo, is a great artistic director, and he's done a wonderful job with that theater. So, when you start talking, you realize that you've got acquaintances.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Well, Arlo, thank you for taking time out of your day. We're just a little over a minute left to go. Mary, maybe you can tell us, just a real recap. It's it's $25, and it's on the 23rd?
It's Monday the 23rd. There's a 3 o'clock and a 7:30 performance. Tickets are $25 for adults, and if you're a season ticket holder, it's $20. The theater's box office number is 352-236. 2274, or you can certainly buy them online. There is a service charge online, but you can access our website at ocalicivictheater.com.
And Arlo, real quick, is there anyone and any artist out there that you would like to do a duet with?
Frank Lesser.
Okay.
Oh, you have to wait. You have to wait till the other side.
That's right.
To the heavy side layer. You have to wait till the heavy side layer. Use a Broadway reference, right?
That's right.
Isn't that what they call heaven in Cats? The heavy side layer? Yeah. Arlo, thank you. Welcome to Ocala in advance when you get here. I'm sure you'll love this town, and you'll love Mary. So she'll make it for you. Mary, thank you for coming in and introducing us to Arlo Hill.
Oh, you guys are great to have us on. Thank you so much. We're really excited about this.
Thank you so much, Larry. Appreciate it.
We'll leave with a few seconds from the song. We'll be right back.
Someday I could find my way.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The Northeast in for a bitterly cold weekend. Wind chill warnings in many areas. Boston could get another foot of snow.
This has beaten some of the historic numbers throughout history, particularly for 30-day snowfall. It beat the week record. So despite the fact that New England knows how to handle snow, this is still a lot of snow.
Fox's Molly Lime. Boston's had more than 6 feet of snow in less than 3 weeks. The trial continues of Eddie Lee Ralph, accused of killing Chris Kyle, depicted in the film American Sniper.